friendship is a plant we must often water. I agree with this quote because I think friendship takes a lot of dedication, and we all must really try really hard to keep a friendship going in order for it to grow and be a healthy relationship. Today I will be explaining 3 ways in which you must continue to nurture that friendship in order for it to grow and maintain it. So first, I will be explaining how a friendship between my best friend and I, and then a friendship that didn't work out between one of my friends and myself, and then a movie. So first of all, my best friend and I, we've been friends since we were little. And at first, I did not like her at all. She was so annoying to me. But eventually, we grew up together, and so eventually we connected and we bonded. And ever since then, we've been best friends. And it's taken a lot of hard work because our personalities are really different. We're completely different. She's really outgoing and crazy, and I'm kind of mellow and shy. So sometimes our personalities clash and we get into fights. But because we take the time and dedication to work things out, our friendship has worked, and it's been ongoing, and up to this day we're strong, and we have a good solid relationship with each other. My next example is of a friend that I had in my high school, and we went to high school in Santa Ana, and I ended up transferring to a school in Anaheim. And so my friend, she was, my best friend at school, and we would talk all the time. And when I was gonna move, we said we're gonna be best friends. We're gonna stay best friends, and we're gonna keep talking, and we're gonna go see each other, even though we can't drive. We're gonna see each other. And eventually I moved, and we never saw each other. We never really talked, and that best friend became just someone that I used to know, that I used to go to school with. Because neither of us put in the time or dedication to try to see each other, to try to meet up or talk, and it just ended up not working out. Our friendship just ended up being, oh yeah, I have that girl on Instagram, I text her, every once in a while, but we never see each other. And my third example is from a movie that most of us have seen, I think, Mean Girls. And their friendship was crazy. They're all supposedly friends, but they all talk about each other, they just gossip, and it's really funny. But their friendship didn't work because they all talked about each other behind their backs, and they were mean to each other, they did things, stealing each other's boyfriends, and that's just not how friendship works. You need to put time into your friendship. There needs to be trust and loyalty, and if you can't have that in a friendship, it's not going to work out. Just like those girls, they were mean to each other. If you're going to have a friend, you can't be mean to them. And so, those 3 examples, it's exactly why I agree with this quote, which friendship is a plant we must often water. Because if you don't do that, then you're not going to have a friendship. It's going to eventually go away, and to keep a friendship, all of us have to be, understanding, and you have to be, nice to them. If you're not nice, then you're not going to have friends with them. So in conclusion, I talked about 3 examples of myself and my best friend, and the movie Mean Girls, and also a friend that I lost because neither of us put in time or dedication. So if you guys really have a best friend and you really want to stay friends with someone, then you should always, try to put time and effort into the relationship so that it'll work out.
All right, well, the rhetorical question is fine. and it ties into your viewpoint pretty clearly. So we know kind of where you're headed with the speech. I thought that you had a very solid preview of what you were going to be talking about. They're mostly examples rather than particular ideas, but that's okay. The illustrations are pretty well developed. You have a little bit of a story to tell with each of them. The second one, not quite as much, but the other two I thought that you did a good job on. The internal transitions were easy to follow, so there wasn't any structural problem there. So you've got the basics of the structure down. I think you're doing fine there. Presentation for the most part is solid. I think that you've got a good variety in your voice. You're pacing about right. I think maybe you could project a little bit more and maybe a little bit more energetic here and there. Your hands are very animated. At the beginning, there were a lot of indicators. I think that you settled down and were a little bit more purposeful in the second half of the speech. In the first half, maybe that would be one place that some anxiety is coming out. Your facial expressions seem to reflect appropriately the things that you're talking about. Your eye contact with the audience, you look out at the audience pretty regularly. I never got the impression that you're ever really connecting with anybody and pausing to make a particular point, but you did seem to be trying to pay attention to everybody and at least look around. So I wouldn't say that you were disengaged, but I know that it doesn't feel quite as much as if you were intensely engaged with the audience as a consequence. So it's not a negative, it's just you can kind of notice a difference the way people do those sorts of things. Your body movements, I did notice that you seemed to step forward to emphasize a particular point, that you change the orientation of your body pretty regularly. Sometimes it did seem a little bit like it was not quite nervous feet, but you're being so conscious of it that you're doing it a little too regularly. But it wasn't a distraction, it was just, that's kind of a subjective impression there. I thought you had good details in your summary, and you reminded us of the point that you were trying to make at the end of the speech. And ultimately, that's what it's about. Share your point of view, try and remind us what it is that you thought was important in the subject that you're talking about, and get off the stage gracefully. You did that pretty well. All right, thank you.